Story 1. MIL showed up to my son's daycare when he wasn't even there. My MIL, 62, is generally a very helpful MIL. Every time we asked for her help to look after our son, almost 3, she'd be there, and I will forever be eternally grateful to her for it. Sure, she needs very direct instructions on how to care for him. Example: egg for breakfast at 7 o'clock, banana for snack at 9:30, macaroni and cheese for lunch at 12, nap time at 12:30, etc., but she always handled it just fine. This past Saturday, I, 30F, 28 weeks pregnant, ended up in the hospital with flu that progressed to pneumonia, and it could have been lethal if my husband hadn't taken me to the hospital when he did. So in the morning, he called my MIL, his mom, to come look after our son for a few hours so he could take me to the ER. Unfortunately, it was Woman's Day that day, and she probably had some plans with her boyfriend, which I know sucks, but I really didn't choose that day as a day to potentially die on purpose. She called him a few hours in when we're planning on coming back, and he told her he had no idea, since we didn't even know what was wrong at that point. Eventually, when they told him I was going to stay in the hospital, he immediately left home to take over the care of our son. But it was too late. She was already in a pissy mood when he made it back. He heard her talk to our son in a somewhat aggressive manner about how grandma is leaving immediately after mom and dad get home. And to top it all off, he forgot to bring her a flower for Woman's Day, which was probably the tip of the iceberg in her eyes. He was going to bring her one the next day, but the damage was already done. She started ignoring him completely. She's been ignoring him since Saturday, not asking once, calling to check if they might need anything. Our toddler wasn't 100% healthy at that point yet either, or to at least ask how he's doing. Fast forward to Tuesday, which is when they finally let me go home. On Wednesday, I took my toddler to daycare, despite being told to not go outside so soon after my pneumonia. So after my MIL sister found out I took him there myself, she called me and offered to take him and get him from daycare on Thursday and Friday, so I don't overexert myself too much. Mind you, at this point, there was still no sign about my MIL giving even the slightest shit about what is going on with either of us. I also didn't want to bother her, knowing she's been in a bad mood because of everything that's happened. So I gladly accepted her help, not thinking much of it. I let them know in the daycare that his aunt will be dropping him off and picking him up for the next 2 days, and thought that was that. Fast forward to today. I get a call from my son's daycare teacher telling me they saw my MIL loitering inside the changing rooms of the daycare, looking like she was waiting for someone. Not saying anything, not talking to anyone, only saying hi to the teacher that saw her, just standing there. At 7 a.m. in the morning. My son usually gets there later. What was the plan if she did see him get to daycare with her sister, his aunt? Would she start a scene right there and then? Why? I don't get it. Apparently, she left soon after she was spotted. My husband plans on going over to her house in the afternoon to talk to her about it. But I just want to know, am I overreacting on this or not? Comment 1. Hey, I'm not justifying, but she's probably mentally ill as well. This isn't normal. Comment 2. When you go into labor, for God's sake, do not tell her. Tell no one. Time enough to announce baby's arrival after he's here. Don't ruin this experience for yourself. We did that with both of ours, and it was brilliant. ETA, if you end up with a scheduled C-section, lie about the date, then say, it happened so fast we had no time to call. That's exactly our plan. Both of our parents would be calling constantly for updates, and we don't need that. Comment 3. There's a lot of great advice here, but I just wanted to add that you need to stop answering their phone or responding to their texts without a delay. If you answer or respond when they call now and don't when you go into labor, they will also suspect that something's up. Start the delayed response times now, so they are used to it, and will be less suspicious when you don't respond immediately. Comment 4. I'm a retired nurse who worked in high-risk OB, and I'm a grandmother myself. The flu and pneumonia are serious in pregnancy because you have a weakened immune system and less ability to fight off an infection. Your MIL got inconvenienced by you getting sick when she had other plans. And then so had the audacity to be a day late giving his healthy mother a flower while his wife was in the hospital and his toddler was sick. How dare you, /s. And what damage was done to her? Please, tell us MIL, how we damaged you. First step is for someone, ideally to tell her how you were in the hospital and how sick you were. She was in the daycare where the children take off their coats. I believe she was hoping to see LO and maybe take the child with her, but staff saw her and she left. Your MIL sounds mentally unstable, and I would advise not using her for childcare. Visits should be supervised, no alone visits with your children. She has a temper, and a young child needs an adult with patience. I advise making other arrangements for childcare when you are in the hospital having the baby. Comment 5. If she throws a tantrum and punishes her son with the silent treatment because you were in the hospital at inconvenient timing, it's probably a good idea not to consider her very helpful, just for your own sakes. She sounds loony. Not overreacting at all. Comment 6. Being upset about a medical emergency and that someone didn't give you a flower is very strange. I'd probably tell MIL that the daycare almost called the police and that she is not allowed back there again since they confirmed with you that she had no reason to be there. Story 2. Update. MIL showed up to my son's daycare when he wasn't even there. My husband went to talk to his mom yesterday, and as expected, he didn't really get anywhere with trying to reason with her. He tried his best to keep his cool, so he opened the conversation by asking her what exactly was the thing that set her off in the first place, to start ignoring him, and why didn't she at least give him a call to ask about our toddler, who was also sick, or about me in the hospital. She, being unable to handle confrontation when it's pointed at her, started yelling at him. Why should I have called you? I am your mother. You should have called me. This is not how I raised you. Yada, yada, yada. He tried reasoning with her that we were all sick and that he would have appreciated at least her checking on them how they're doing, since I was being cared for in the hospital, and this was the longest they ever went without me. And she kept on yelling at him about how it's not her job to do things like that for him. The flower fiasco for IWD came up too, and she was defensive again about how she didn't raise him to be like that, and how she was raised to think about her mother first before everything else. Spoiler alert. Her mom is in her 90s, and her sister is the one who actually cares for her. She just goes to visit maybe once or twice a week, never cooking anything for her or helping out with anything. He told her, I'm sorry my wife almost died on that day, and I was too worried to think about your flower. At this point, his patience started running thin because she was attacking him when he was trying to talk to her in a calm manner. So in the heat of the moment, he told her that even my 80-year-old grandma called to check on them to see if they're doing okay and brought them some home-cooked soup so they'd have something to eat. This prompted MIL to start berating my grandma, saying, why the hell is she getting involved in family business? Who does she think she is? She also said he hurt her by insinuating that my grandma is more caring than her. He told her to please calm down and listen to him, but it didn't work. Then he asked her what was she thinking going into daycare this morning. At first, she denied being there, which was a statement that was also confirmed by her sister, the aunt who took my son to daycare, when she ran into MIL at their mom's house after dropping my son in daycare yesterday and heard her saying to their mom, I slept so well today, all the way until 9:20 a.m. Oh, you sure? He told her to stop lying and told her the teachers called me and told me she was in fact there at 7 a.m., which is when she dropped the act and said she just went inside for a little bit and that it was not a big deal at all. He told her it was in fact a huge deal and that she doesn't have anything to do there if she's not dropping or picking up a child at all, ever. She got defensive again, saying how we shouldn't have let her sister take him there and how her sister is the person who breaks families apart. Yes, sure, MIL, whatever you say. He also told her that the next time she pulls crap like that, the teachers will call the police, and she started going off on him again about how she has nothing to apologize for and how SHE is his mother and he doesn't respect her and nobody else, etc. At one point, she even told him, if I end up hurting myself, it will be all of yours fault. He just left after that. He met up with me and my toddler outside our house, and about 30 minutes later, we see her storming towards us across the lawn. She stopped about 10 m before reaching us and abruptly started going into the other direction. My husband said to her, Mom, are you here to see us? And she turned to us and said, oh, I didn't see you there at all. Yeah, like hell you didn't. And she started walking towards us again. Because she gave off weird energy, my toddler didn't run up to her, but he hugged my leg and tried to hide, and seeing his reaction, she went aggressive again, saying, "Fine, I'm just going to leave then," and started walking away again. At this point, my husband told her to stop acting like a child, which probably offended her yet again. She kept walking along with us for a little while after that, then she went home, and we went home too. Honestly, just typing this all out is making me realize even more how unhinged she truly is. How the hell do we move past this? Can we move past it at all? What the heck do we do, apart from cutting her off the list for available childcare? I'm not really comfortable with her having my son unsupervised anymore. I'm sorry for a long post. It's just impossible talking to her reasonably, and it's even harder to put it into a reasonable context since any conversations with her are so all over the place. Edit. Since the thread is already closed and I'm not able to reply to comments anymore. First, I'd like to thank you all for your advice, yet again. Second, we are definitely putting her in a long timeout. I want her to apologize and own up to her actions, but seeing how crazy she reacted, I don't think we can expect it anytime soon. She will not have unsupervised access to my toddler anymore, because I just don't feel like I can trust her to keep his best interests in mind. My husband is not ready to cut contact with her completely yet, but the contact will be limited from now on. He will also try to convince her to get herself checked out for any brain abnormalities, just to be on the safe side. Comment 1. Parents gossiping health issues is why I rarely talk about my health to my own parents anymore. The breaking point was when my 8th grade basketball coach tried to get in contact with me as support while I was going through my cancer treatment. Yeah, my parents just gave a guy I had not even thought about in 20 years my entire medical history, apparently. And they wonder why we don't tell them much stuff anymore. Comment 2. Faithful. You gave her the consequences of not listening to your boundaries. Go you. Keep protecting your kids. They will remember and know you are on their side. Comment 3. To be fair, you have had grace all along. You're now simply withdrawing that grace. And you are having the grace to warn her. Comment 4. Not a threat. Actions have consequences. FAFO. Comment 5. Most of us who commented seem to have her pegged. She is self-centered and emotionally unstable. She will lie without shame. Please don't ever leave her alone with your children. She is showing classic Darvo, a behavior seen by self-centered, abusive people. It's deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender. I'm so sorry. I send you grandma hugs over the internet. My husband and I have always been there for our kids and grandchildren during their sicknesses, surgeries, injuries, and hard times. We are so close to them now. Every relationship worth having needs nurturing. They were there for us too when I was in the hospital with near-death conditions. Maya Angelou said, "When people show you who they are, believe them the first time. She has shown you who she is. Whatever happens from now on, remember who she is." Comment 6. At one point she even told him, "If I end up hurting myself, it will be all of yours fault. Your Mile just made a threat of violence." This is the line. OP, you cannot allow her around your child. Period. If your DH wants to see her alone, he can, but it is not safe for your little one to be around psycho grandma anymore. Comment 7. I don't think you need to move past this. I think you need to stay clear of her. Comment 8. She threatened self-harm to manipulate your husband. Why is allowing unsupervised visits even up for discussion? She needs serious help. Story 3. I'll already be controlling about my baby and I'm still pregnant. My husband and I had dinner with my ML and I cannot stop thinking about how controlling she was acting. It's making me more and more upset and stressed. I knew she was going to be like this because this is how she is with everything. She would ask how I was going to do something and then disagree and tell me how to do it. I'm at the end of my first trimester and it's so overbearing. Here are some of the things she brought up. Asked if I'm going to have a C-section. Told her no, I'm going to do a natural birth unless medically necessary. She goes on to tell me she had C-sections, how they are better, and that she has sweatpants for me to wear after that won't hit the incision area. I'm like I'm not having a major surgery if I don't have to. My husband made some jokes about it, then changed the subject. Asked if I was going to breastfeed. I said yes, then she tells me no, and that formula is better, and that no one can help watch the baby if I breastfeed. I told her I plan to breastfeed and also pump to have a freezer supply. She continued to disagree. Wants us to name the baby after my husband or her husband. Her sons are named after their dads. Told her no, I don't like reusing the same names at least for the first name. She tries to guilt me about it. Asked what color outfit we were bringing the baby home in. I said I was thinking baby blue or maybe green. She disagrees and says I shouldn't pick a common color and how she took her babies home in red. Thinks her and her husband should take the baby to our house in their car instead of us because my husband will be tired. He responded by saying he'll be fine. Wants to be in the hospital room while I give birth and pull the baby out. She's brought this up before and I straight up say no, not happening. Keeps bringing it up. I'm not even sure I want the in-laws in the waiting room, and if they are, I'm likely going to want a couple hours for just my husband and I. Also would want my own family in there first, just not sure if that will work out since they will have to fly in. Is adamant about laying baby on the side to sleep with a towel behind his back. This is the thing that freaks me out the most. Told her now the guidelines for safe sleep are to lay them on their back only. She is set on that they will choke this way. Says she's raised 3 kids and knows what's best. My husband just mentions how the guidelines are always changing. She's already planning on watching the baby overnight, getting a crib, car seat, telling us what bottles/wipes/diapers we need to use. That we can watch the baby on her cameras while she's taking care of him, but not to be calling her asking how he's doing. Wants to put the car seat in the middle seat. Told her multiple times it goes behind the front seat. I was wearing slide-on shoes and she kept telling me that I can't wear them and strictly need to wear tennis shoes for safety. I completely ignored this and will be wearing them or sandals next time I see her, lol. Giving me just random advice taking care of baby that I didn't ask for, like she thinks I don't know anything. Always asks me or when talking to my husband on the phone if I'm taking my prenatals every day. Probably missing a few things. My husband is on my side, but often just makes a joke to ease the situation and changes the subject. Told him on the way home she is already being super controlling and will continue to want to do it all her way. He said he will shut it down quick. I mentioned that she needs to take the grandparent class our hospital offers on updated safety practices. Going to talk to him more about it, and especially right before the next time we see her, that I want him to be more firm and tell her his opinion on things as well. It really freaks me out her wanting me to get the C-section and wanting me to formula feed because I feel like she is trying to take over the baby. Any thoughts or advice? Really just needed a vent. I am stressing out so much about it. Not even going to get into how she's been controlling about other things because that would take multiple posts. Comment 1. They are doing you a favor. Comment 2. Sounds like the trash took itself out, my love. Comment 3. Cut you off because she fully expects her husband to still let her see your grandchild. Oh, sorry, your husband. Comment 4. Your ML cut you off and thinks she is actually punishing you? Hope you had a good laugh. She can kick rocks indefinitely barefoot. Respect is earned, not automatically given due to age. Something your MIL can't fathom, and you won't fall into line is driving her insane. Keep holding your boundaries and protect your peace. Comment 5. In-laws are not using the phrase correctly, but they are right that you are using the baby as leverage to get what you want. Good behavior. They have done you a favor. People don't realize that access to the baby is your trump card when dealing with them. Comment 6. Husband needs to tell her now. She needs to respond respectfully, and if not, she gets cut out until further notice. Comment 7. Good luck. For the extreme things, ask her if that is what her mother-in-law did when she had kids. Your kid, your rules. I hope your partner continues to have your back. Does UFIL know she is crazy? Can he keep her tame? I am remarkably impressed how knowledgeable you are for being in only your first trimester for your first. Glad you know the word no. You've got this, girl. Comment 8. Oh boy, your ML is something special, isn't she? I agree with the other posters. She needs to be told to stay in her lane. I recommend not telling her when you start labor or anything until after the babe is born, and you have had a shower, eaten, snuggled, napped, and feel ready for visitors. Make sure DH doesn't get excited and post anything on social media either. Don't give her the opportunity to barge into your delivery. Good luck. Comment 9. One problem I see is that you're having this conversation with her as if she has a say, as if you're trying to convince her. You can't convince her, so don't make that your goal. Your new goal should be making it clear that you're in charge. You don't do this by arguing or by asking DH to defend your opinions. You just say something like, "I'm sorry, it's not up for discussion," then change the topic. If she doesn't let you change the topic, leave the room. The key is to do all of this very calmly and rather nonchalantly. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.